In this demonstration, we're going to add two tables to our project to store data for our fleet management scenario. So before we even begin, just make sure you have your project open. I have added some additional EDTs. I've added a couple of integers here. I've added DB number of doors, DB model year. I've also added another string for DB vehicle ID. I've also added a couple of EDT dates for DB service end date and start date. So the first thing we want to do, especially when we're working with tables, is we want to make sure that we are syncing the database whenever we perform a build. If we don't do this, we might run into some errors when we build our project. So what I'll do to make sure that we're syncing the database is we'll right click on the project, and I'm going to go to the properties. And if I scroll down to the bottom, we can see here synchronize database on build is set to false. We want to change that to say true. And then I'll go ahead and click apply and OK. So next we can go ahead and add our new tables to the project. So I will right click on the project. I'll go ahead and go to add new item. On the left hand side, we'll go to data model, and this is where we can add a table. So I'll highlight table, and we'll go ahead and name our new table. The first one I'm going to name is DB vehicle table. And I'll go ahead and click add. And as you can see, the designer will open and display our new table, and our table has now been added in a table folder in our project. Now I'm going to make one more table for DB vehicle maintenance. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on my project again. We'll go to add new item, select table, and we'll go ahead and call this one DB vehicle maintenance. And we'll go ahead and click add. And that will also open up my DB vehicle maintenance table and the DB vehicle table. You can see I have two different tabs up here, and I can switch back and forth to work on each of them. So now let's set a couple of properties. So I'm going to go back to my DB vehicle table, and I'm going to go over to the properties, and I'm going to set the label for this. And I'm just going to put the label as vehicles. So I'll scroll up to the label and I'll say vehicles. And then I'll go over to my DB vehicle maintenance table, and I'm going to set the label property to vehicle maintenance. And then I'll just go ahead and click save all to save all of my changes, and I can go ahead and perform a build. So I'll just go ahead and right click and perform a build and make sure we don't get any errors before we move on. And you can see our build has completed and our database has synced. And now we can go ahead and start customizing and adding to our table.